I walked into my local shop last week looking for a spare Glock 19, and the guy behind the counter just laughed and said, "Sold out again." That's when it hit me. Some guns in 2025 are moving faster than brass at a USPSA match. What's up, everyone? This is your host, Ted from Line 45, and today I'm giving you a rundown of the fastest-selling handguns in the US right now, or those that are flying off shelves so quickly you can't just get your hands on them. Before anything else, let me do this quick plug. Hit the like and subscribe buttons, all the buttons that you can see below. Don't forget to leave a comment too. I know it feels like a hassle, but those things help my channel a lot. Now let's get back to the good stuff. Ruger Max 9. If you've been paying attention to the gun cases lately, the Ruger Max 9 is one of those pistols that just disappear from stocks without notice. You walk in looking for one, and it's either already spoken for or they're waiting on another shipment. And that's the story almost everywhere here in the US. Of course, that's because Ruger didn't just drop a micro-compact to compete. They dropped a micro-compact that actually makes sense for everyday folks. This isn't just some budget gun riding the red dot craze. It's one of the few under 500 pistols that checks all the boxes and still feels like something you can bet your life on. I've carried and shot the Max 9 enough to know why it's moving fast. It's slim. It's just under 1 inch wide with a 6-inch overall length and a 3.2-inch cold hammer-forged barrel, which is crazy durable for this price point. The slide's alloy steel with a black oxide finish that holds up way better than you'd expect, even after sweat, holster wear, and a few rough days on the range. It's optics ready from the jump, with no plate system. Just directly mount a Shield RMSC or a Holosun 407K. I run mine with a 407K, and it hasn't budged through 800-plus rounds. The grip texture is aggressive where it counts. It grips your hand without biting when carried close. The undercut on the trigger guard gives you a higher grip, and that makes this thing shoot flatter than it has any right to. The trigger is flat-faced, around 5.5 pounds, with a wall you can prep into and a short, audible reset. It's not mushy like most sub-$500 triggers, so you can actually run drills with this thing and not fight it. With factory tritium fiber optic sights, 10+1 or 12+1 mags, and a sub-500 MSRP, Ruger gave folks a no BS, ready-to-roll carry gun, and that's why it's almost out of stock all the time. Taurus GX4 Toro. I didn't expect to be impressed by a Taurus that easily, but the GX4 XL Toro straight up surprised me, and that's saying something. In 2025, it's one of the fastest-selling 9mm handguns in the country, and after putting a few hundred rounds through mine, I almost get the reason why. Taurus didn't just try to catch up with the micro-compact market. They went toe-to-toe with the big names and actually built something that works hard and carries easily. At under 7 inches long, optics ready, and priced well under most of its competition, this gun hits the sweet spot for folks who want features without emptying their wallet. The barrel's 3.7 inches. Not chopped, not too long, and it's stainless with a diamond-like carbon coating, which means it runs clean, resists wear, and handles heat efficiently. The slide is carbon steel with a gas nitride finish, and mine's held up to holster wear, sweat, and even a few accidental drops onto gravel. What sold me, though, is that factory Taurus Optic Ready Option Cut, or Toro. I slapped on a Holosun 407K without an adapter and zeroed it in 10 rounds. Still holding tight after 600-plus rounds. The trigger is flat-faced with a clean wall and short reset, and it breaks just over 5 pounds, which is surprisingly solid for a gun in this price bracket. Grip texture is laser-etched and aggressive, but not uncomfortable. It gives you a locked-in feel when your palms are sweaty. Taurus also includes 2 backstrap options, which is a nice touch for dialing in fit. I've run both the 11 and 13-round Mechgar mags with no issues. It cycles everything: range ammo, defensive loads, even steel case, with 0 malfunctions. It's slim, it's accurate, and it's packed with features that matter. That's why the GX4 XL Toro is selling like crazy. It's a damn capable carry gun that punches way above its weight. Smith & Wesson M&P 9 Shield Plus Optics Ready. Every time a buddy asks me what carry pistol they should look at in 2025, the M&P 9 Shield Plus Optics Ready is one of the first names out of my mouth, and turns out I'm not the only one saying it. This gun isn't just selling fast, it's selling smart, because Smith & Wesson took everything people loved about the original Shield, fixed what we didn't, and dropped it right into a platform ready for today's red dot carry crowd. In a year where buyers want slim guns with real capacity and modern features out of the box, the Shield Plus just checks all the boxes without breaking the bank. I've run this gun at the range, through concealment drills, and even used it for a couple of low-light shoot nights, and what stands out the most is how balanced it feels for its size. It's running a 3.1-inch barrel inside a stainless steel slide with Smith's Armor Night finish. I've carried it in hot weather, rainy days, IWB, and appendix, and I've never seen a spot of rust. It's just under 6.2 inches overall, but that slightly longer grip lets you get all your fingers on it, especially with the 13-round mag. Even the flush 10-rounder feels solid in hand, with no pinky hanging off begging for an extension. The grip texture is the kind that doesn't chew up your skin when carrying but bites just enough under recoil. I've run 115 grain range ammo and stepped it up to plus P 124 grain gold dots. There are 0 failures. It's got a flat-face trigger that's surprisingly crisp for a factory job. There's a distinct wall, clean break, and short, tactile reset that's easy to ride in rapid fire. I've run bill drills and 1 reload ones with it, and it punches above its weight. I mounted a Shield RMSC directly onto the optics ready slide, and no adapter plates were needed, just a straight mount. Zeroed it in under 15 rounds, and it's held through 700-plus rounds without backing out. Between the front night sight ring and U-notch rear, even without an optic, this thing's quick to acquire. Smith & Wesson didn't try to reinvent the wheel with the Shield Plus. They just finally made it right, and shooters noticed. That's why it's one of the fastest sellers this year, because it actually earns the hype. Springfield Hellcat Pro OSP. You know how some guns get hyped up online, then you finally shoot one and think, that's it? But you know what? The Hellcat Pro OSP ain't that gun. In fact, the first time I ran it during a defensive pistol course, I knew exactly why it's one of the fastest-selling 9mm handguns in the country this year. Springfield didn't just make a slightly bigger Hellcat. They built something that actually bridges that awkward gap between micro-compact and duty grade, and it just flat-out performs. We're talking about a pistol with a 3.7-inch hammer-forged barrel tucked into a 6.6-inch slide that's machined for a direct-mount optic. No plates, no guesswork. I threw a Holosun 407K on mine, torqued it down, and it held 0 seamlessly through over 1,000 rounds. And that melanite finish on both the barrel and slide is the kind of treatment that shrugs off sweat, dirt, and the inside of a Kydex holster riding appendix in the middle of a humid day. What really sold me was the grip. Springfield's adaptive grip texture isn't just some fancy terms to sell this gun. The grip is aggressive where it needs to be without chewing up your hands. It locks in even when your palms are slick. The gun ships with a flush 15-round mag and a 17-round extended mag, both of which fit seamlessly in the grip module without looking like afterthoughts. You get full control, full capacity, and 0 compromise on concealability, thanks to that 1-inch slim frame. Recoil is pretty much tamed. That full-length guide rod and dual captive recoil spring setup soak up the snap, making double taps faster and more controllable than anything else in its size class. The tritium, luminescent front sight combined with a U-notch rear makes target transitions quick and instinctive, even when you're moving. The Hellcat Pro OSP sells fast because it's not trying to be everything to everyone. It's a serious carry gun with real-world features, and shooters like me who've run it hard know it earns its place on that top sellers list every damn day. Sig Sauer P365 XL. I didn't really get the hype around the P365 XL until I actually carried one and ran a few hundred rounds through it. I'd been a Glock guy for years, but the more I saw these flying off shelves and guys praising them at the range, I figured I had to see what Sig was cooking. And now I know the exact reasons why it sells fast, and people just recommend it to other shooters. It's compact, it shoots flat, and it's built like Sig really listened to what people actually want in a carry gun. This isn't just a stretched-out P365. It's got a 3.7-inch carbon steel barrel, which is longer than the standard, and that gives you a better sight radius and a little more velocity out of your 9mm loads. The X-Series grip module makes all the difference. It's got that extended beaver tail, an undercut trigger guard, and a built-in mag well flare that makes reloads stupid easy under pressure. You can run it with the standard 12-round mags it ships with, or slap in a factory 15-rounder, and you've got serious firepower in something that's still easily concealable under a t-shirt. The flat-face trigger is one of the best factory striker-fired triggers out there. It breaks clean at just over 5 pounds, and the reset is short and tactile. I've run timed drills with it, and it's consistent as hell. Slides optic ready from the get-go, and I dropped a Romeo Zero Elite on mine, zeroed it in 10 rounds, and haven't had to touch it since. And don't sleep on the X-ray 3-day night sights. They're high-vis up front, and they glow like a campfire at night. This thing eats everything. 115 grain ball, 124 grain HSTs, steel case junk, no failures, no hiccups. It's comfortable as an appendix inside the waistband pistol, doesn't beat you up under recoil, and hits way above its size class. That's not marketing talk. They're the reasons why it's selling like crazy. Glock 19 Gen 5. I've lost count of how many times I've taken my Glock 19 Gen 5 to the range and walked away thinking all the time that there's a reason why it's a consistent bestseller. It's not flashy, it's not boutique, but man, it just runs. No issues, no weird malfunctions. Even after hundreds of rounds through dirty mags and cheap steel case ammo, Glock's been doing this long enough to know what works, and the Gen 5 proves they're still listening to shooters. Size-wise, it hits that sweet spot. 4.02-inch barrel, 15-round mag, and it's compact enough to carry all day without printing like a full size. They ditched the finger grooves, thank God, so it fits a broader range of hands, and that flared mag well makes reloads feel like second nature, especially when you're running drills under pressure. The Glock marksman barrel they dropped into this thing is legit. It's tighter groups at 25 yards with nothing but factory ball ammo. That recessed crown gives it just a bit more edge when you're trying to squeeze out accuracy. The slide has that NDLC finish, so you're not worried about it getting scuffed up in a duty rig or inside the waistband holster. The ambidextrous slide stop lever is there for lefties or righties, and the trigger, while still that Glock wall and snap, feels smoother than Gen 3 or Gen 4 by a mile. This thing is built to survive hell and keep feeding. And let's be real, part of why it's flying off the shelves is because you can trust it straight out of the box. Whether you're new to the game or have been carrying for years, the Glock 19 Gen 5 just works. It's a workhorse, and in 2025 folks still want a pistol that does the heavy lifting for them, as absurd as that sounds.